Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bad Bookers of Wrestling podcast. My name is Jack, and today we are reviewing Monday Night Raw. Yeah. Moving on. From Manchester, England, of all places. If I had any spare money, I probably would have gone myself. But at the time when the tickets came on sale, I didn't have any spare money to go, so neither there for SmackDown or for Raw. But oh well, maybe next year, or maybe we'll just go to the London show again, shall we? But yeah, it was a frustrating Raw. The first hour took a lot out of you. It was pretty turd, if I'm honest. Let's move straight into it. We had, at the start of the show, we had all the superstars on the ramp, and then we had about 5 or 6 security by ringside with Baron Corbin coming out and to the ring. And he mentioned how Brock Lesnar was the new Universal Champion, and he mentioned that Survivor Series was coming up, and that he was going to start naming his team for Team Raw on the men's side. And he picked Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and then he mentioned Braun Strowman and said, even though he might be a little bit upset about what happened on Friday. And he then said that he said he was captain for Team Raw, which is fair enough. If he wants to be captain, you're GM, mate. And then he introduced Alexa Bliss to the fray and said that she was Team Raw's women's captain and that she would be the one picking the team for the 5v5 for the women's side, which she hasn't decided yet. She's deciding that next week. She said she was going to look very closely at the matches. She's probably going to pick all the heels, isn't she? I assume she's probably going to pick, because she can't wrestle because of this concussion. So she's probably going to pick Mickie James, Alicia Fox, and the Riott Squad, you would have thought. And everyone would be happy with it. Yay, woo. But maybe she'll pick one of Sasha and Bayley and that'll kick off a feud between Sasha. I don't know. I just don't know. But sorry, I was just cleaning my glasses. I could barely see. But she made a tag team match, and if you can guess the women's six women tag match, then I'll give you a prize. It was the Riott Squad versus Natalya, Bayley, and Sasha. Yep, standard 6 women tag match for Raw. And she was about to say it's happening right now before Kurt Angle came out and said, look, Baron, Friday ignited my love for wrestling, and I want to compete in the Survivor Series team. Not only that, I want to be team captain. So, Baron Corbin, you face me tonight, and if I win, not only am I in the 5v5 men's tag team, I'm also team captain. And Baron said, go on then. We'll have it as our main event tonight. And then Braun's music hit. And I feel sorry for the security guards who, he came down to the ring. The first security guard he attacked just absolutely kicked his heart out of his chest, full on. The guy pretty much folded. It was mental how hard he kicked him. I hope the guy's alright, because that was just insane. He threw all the security guard about, went after Baron Corbin, who, pretended to want it and then ran away, and ran off backstage where Baron Corbin chased after him. And that was the end of that segment, and we moved straight into the tag team match, the women's tag team match between Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya versus the Riott Squad. It was a half-hour match, and it ended in a no contest because Natalya decided to come out to the ring wearing her dad's sunglasses, which is cool. That's fine by me. Ruby Riott broke them in half, and that ended the match because Natalya couldn't do it anymore because she was crying her eyes out. So this feud's continuing. Moving on, we had Apollo Crews defeating Jinder Mahal. Moving on, the first hour was, the fact that we had a half-hour match. The 6 women tag match was half hour, and it just ended without a finish because Granted, they're her dad's glasses. They might not even be her dad's glasses, but we don't know. I wouldn't have thought they would have actually broken Natalya's dad's glasses. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, if you didn't know. I don't think they would have actually broken his glasses on TV. But who am I to complain, eh? Yeah, like I said, Apollo Crews, Jinder Mahal, 5-minute match. Apollo Crews won. They're pushing Apollo Crews, which is good, I guess. But until he's in a title picture, yeah, that's all I can say really. Next up, we had Seth Rollins come out to the ring, IC belt around his waist, both tag belts around his shoulders. He looks good with 3 belts, man. He looks good. And finally, we had a tag team belts on TV, which is fantastic. He pretty much said, Brock Lesnar doesn't have the bollocks to turn up anymore. He said that as well. He said bollocks, because apparently that's not swearing in America. They can only use it in England. And he doesn't have the bollocks, and oh yeah, he's not turned up again. Shocker. And it was a disgrace to Roman for all he fought for when he was here and all that, because they still want to bring Roman into this Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud, which I don't know how I feel about that, but there you go. And he said, and there's another bit of business where I've got these tag team belts, but obviously I can't defend them while I don't have a tag team partner. Baron Corbin came up on screen and said, no, you can defend them on your own. Actually, you're going to defend them against these guys. AOP came out, and the Authors of Pain are your new Raw tag team champions. An actual tag team that has got the tag team belts, finally. Good little segment, I thought. It did its purpose. It's got the titles away, the tag titles away from Seth, because what's the point of having them on one bloke? And it put them on an actual tag team who are dominating in the Raw tag division now. And that gives all the other tag teams a purpose to look strong and get a babyface push out of it. What more can you argue with? And like I said, it frees Seth up, so he doesn't have to worry about tag belts. You can go into Survivor Series against Shinsuke. That should be a really good match. You can concentrate on this match with Dean whenever it's going to happen. After the match, after AOP won and walked away, tag team champions, Dean Ambrose came out of the crowd, went into the ring and said... And he just sat there he was on his knees and looked at Seth and with a microphone and went, "You want to know what I did?" Did that make sense? Maybe. I'm pretty sure you know what that means. You want to know why I did what I did? There we go. And Seth was just looking at him like, why? Dean just shook his head, started to walk away, hit Seth with another dirty deeds, and then just walked off. I'm liking this Dean Ambrose, I'm not going to lie, I'm really liking it. Proper tease. It's gonna send Seth a little bit crazy, I think. And hopefully the culmination of this feud is a proper good match, and I don't know if they'll wait until Mania, but it feels like it should be a Mania-worthy match. But we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we had Elias, who is the most over guy in England, versus Dolph Ziggler. And Elias won, actually, surprisingly. Elias defeating Dolph Ziggler. No Drew McIntyre to be had in this match. But, oh yeah, I was like happily surprised that Elias won here. It's, kicking him on. He's won a couple of matches now. Last week against Jinder, and then this week a main event guy, and he has been a main event guy on Raw in Dolph Ziggler. So fantastic. The crowd are chanting his name throughout. We love him over here in England. We love Elias. To be fair, he's loved everywhere, and he's Elias. And yeah, brilliant. What more can you ask for? It was quite a good match, and he won away. He won with a drift away. So there you go. Next up, we had Ronda Rousey come out and do her promo on Becky Lynch after Becky Lynch's promo last week. I thought it was a decent promo. There wasn't much to be said in it. It was just like, oh, I understand why people like you, but at Survivor Series, I'm going to destroy you. Kind of like what Becky said last week, but, you know, it was still a good promo. She delivered it quite well. And she's improving on the mic, which is all you can ask for. It's brilliant. Hopefully she can carry on improving and become this absolute mad woman who's incredibly good on the mic and incredibly good in the ring. A bit like Becky Lynch, if you ask me. Hopefully that happens one day. She was then confronted by Nia Jax. Obviously, Nia Jax is the number one contender for the Raw title at this moment of time, after winning the Battle Royale at Evolution. She came out and went, just you know, standard number one contendership. Just so you know, when you're done with Becky, I'll be there. I'll be waiting for you. And they got interrupted by Ember Moon, because apparently Nia Jax and Ember Moon having another match, which Nia Jax won. I believe she did win. She did win. Nia Jax beating Ember Moon through a Samoan drop, I believe. So Ember Moon's lost twice in a row. I know you have to build up Nia Jax to face Ronda, but I don't think that Ember Moon's the right person to do it with. But there you go. And again, Tamina came out. And then, but this time, not only did they stare at each other for a little bit, Tamina picked up Ember Moon and Samoan dropped her again. Nia Jax is heel again. She's turned heel again, ladies and gentlemen. Her and Tamina are now a tag team. They helped each other out. They hugged. They lifted each other's arms. I've never cared that much for Nia Jax's character. I don't care for it now, if I'm honest. I've never been a fan. Just putting her in Tamina just to announce these Raw Tag Team titles. Not Raw Tag Team titles, Women's Tag Team titles. Just do it already. They should have, if they were going to announce it, they should have done it in Evolution, but they didn't for some reason or another. Now we've got another tag team on the books, and maybe they'll do it at the Royal Rumble or something, with the champions crowned at WrestleMania or something like that. I'm not too sure. But it's coming. I'd rather have a singles belt than a tag belt. But another belt's fine, I guess. Because we haven't got too many of those already. What happened next? We had Bobby Lashley defeating Finn Bálor in relatively easy fashion, to be fair. There wasn't much to be said here. It was an okay match. Bobby Lashley needed to get a win back after Finn Bálor beat him twice in 2 weeks. So yeah, whatever. Bobby Lashley still not getting any heat or anything like that. Lio Rush is getting loads of heat. Bobby Lashley's not. Finn Bálor still as over as ever. But what I did like was, straight after the end of this match, Drew McIntyre's music hit, and he came out earlier in the night. Baron Corbin said, look, I've got to go. I've got an appointment, because Braun Strowman was chasing after him all night and was trying to destroy him after what happened on Friday. And he said, look, I'm not going to be wrestling Kurt anymore. Kurt's going to be wrestling Drew McIntyre. That's the end of it. I'm gone. I'm out of it. I've got an appointment to get to. So, you know, typical heel work there. But literally, as soon as Bobby Lashley pins Finn Bálor, stood up, Drew McIntyre's music hit, went to the ring, and we had a face-off between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre just stood there and went, go on, make a move, I dare you, go on. Bobby Lashley just, like the pussy that he is, walked away. Pussy mate. Drew McIntyre then picked up Finn Bálor, looking all friendly, but don't ever trust the Scottish psychopath, as he threw Finn Bálor to the ropes. Claymore kicked him right to the face and then threw him out the ring, pretty sure. Kurt Angle's music then hit, and the main event of the evening was Drew McIntyre versus Kurt Angle. And they are making Drew McIntyre look like an absolute star. He dominated this match. He Claymore kicked Kurt and could have pinned him there, but instead he just mocked him, sat there, picked him up, like grabbed him by his face and went, you're a disgrace to your family, you're nothing to me. Angle reversed it into an ankle lock, and Drew managed to power out of it, and it just pissed him off. Drew then hit a angle slam on Kurt Angle. He then made Kurt Angle tap out to the ankle lock. How much do you want to build a man in one match? It was absolutely incredible. They have got big plans for Drew McIntyre. They wouldn't have him make Kurt Angle tap out to Kurt Angle's own submission move if they didn't have big plans for him. It's going to be sooner rather than later that Drew McIntyre's Universal Champion, 100%, and I cannot wait for it, because Drew McIntyre is an absolute monster. And I know it's thrown out there, but I think he deserves it, because his run back on the main roster has been on point each turn it's taken. And fair play to him. Fair play to him for leaving when he did, and he could have moaned about it, but he put the work in on the indies. He came back, he looked an absolutely new man. You could see his transformation throughout the indies, where he had grown a hell of a lot of muscle. He just constantly in the gym, and he's come back twice the man that he ever was. Not in terms of physical, but in terms of wrestling style and character progression and whatnot. And if they mess Drew McIntyre up, there's no hope for anyone else, because Drew McIntyre is the ready-made package right now, and all you need to do is stick a belt on him. You can stick an Intercontinental title belt on him. That's fine. Just stick a belt on him, and he could hold that belt for 6 months to a year, and it wouldn't feel boring, in my opinion. Because, and this is why I'm going to praise the WWE booking team, because they're doing something right here with Drew McIntyre, and I can't see them ever messing it up with Drew McIntyre, because, like I said, he's just a ready-made star. He knows what he's doing in the ring, and he can make anything work. So fair play to Drew. And that was Monday Night Raw. Like I said, the first hour was tough. It was tough. I would imagine a lot of people tuned out in the first hour because it wasn't too great. And then it gradually got better and better. We got 2 new tag team champions, and then it all culminated with this fantastic match between Drew McIntyre and Kurt Angle. Drew McIntyre, like I said, won. That means Kurt Angle is not in the 5v5. He's not team captain. But we'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks to see if that changes. If you did like that review, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot. Please drop a subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're new around here, if you've been watching us for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. It means a hell of a lot. And I will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live, once again from Manchester, England. Hopefully it's better than the first hour, the first half of Raw. Hopefully it's better, but we'll have to wait and see, because obviously we got Shane McMahon probably on the show. But anyway, thank you now before I start rambling on anymore. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, like, subscribe, and I shall see you tomorrow.